everyone, so today I'm doing Shehnaaz, and this particular individual that you saw in the title, I don't know how to pronounce his name, so I'm not going to say his name. So I have a deck right here that I feel drawn to pull from whenever it's relevant. I have a channeled song which I've written down already. You will see it in the link below. So I'm already getting this image of the guy holding her like she's a ballerina. So you know how they have their hands up like this and then they can twirl? So he's holding her and essentially guiding her to let her dance. The way that I'm seeing this is their connection is very much like a traditional dance whereby the man takes the lead, but she is the star of the show. She's the essence of it. She is the shining, graceful movement that really captivates the viewer, but the man is necessary as the anchor. The woman looks very beautiful, but when the man guides the female dancer, it gives that stability and that movement, and it's a little bit of like, I was gonna say harshness, but I don't feel harsh. It's like solid movements, sharp, precise movements. And this is how I'm seeing the energies together. What I want to point out is I've been getting this request for quite some time. I haven't been ignoring you guys. I just listen to when Spirit tells me it's okay to do these readings. And so I will not do it if there is not the okay to do so. So I'm releasing this in mid-April. However, I'm recording this in early April. And so I want to point this out because there's some significance. I don't know what it is, but there's a significance to the complexity or the changing of the connection, that it was a no before and it's a yes now. And so how does this connect to us on our individual paths, right? Because the whole reason I'm doing these readings anyway. And so that's being highlighted to point that out. Now, this man feels like an old soul. But when I say that, it feels more complex than an old soul. It's as if this particular person is young, like actually a young person, and yet carries along with him a lot of energy of like past lives or people who have passed away, like elders. Like he would be someone that reminds a lot of people of their father, grandfather, great, but in a loving way, in a good way. It's like he has all the best qualities. Or it's like when he walks into the room, there's this energy that follows that feels like he's ushered in with people from beyond. It's like it really feels like he's deeply connected to strong men that have passed away. And she recognizes this. And it's pointed out that he allows her to feel like a kid, have like a childish expression, be herself, and he encourages that. There's this stable feeling I get where she is surrounding herself and has surrounded herself with people who support her and who honor and trust her path and her decisions. And this person encourages her to be expressive and to create and to just he puts it into perspective for her of what is important, like what criticism is important, or what he helps reinstill the value system that she also agrees with. Does it make sense? And so they work really well together, and there is a lot of attraction on her end towards this person because he's a complex guy. It feels like he's young, but he has an old soul. He is aware, he's a good businessman, but he's also very playful, and he has kind of like this untamed side to him. It's like you want to capture him. That's the way, like kind of like a wild stallion. It's like with a wild stallion, you can never actually tame a wild horse. You know, you could do it in an aggressive manner, but the horse will never respect you, and it's not a nice way to do it. Or you can earn its trust, right? And so there's that feeling of patience. There needs to be patience here, where she wants maybe more. Sure, I'm not sure. Honestly, it's a little, the details feel like they're changing and evolving and mixing, but it feels like they need to take a stand. Okay, a uniting energy feels like they need to take a stand on something. Like they're, I'm seeing an announcement. I'm seeing an announcement, and I'm seeing like red roses. Red roses. So there's an announcement coming between these two. And they have, it has to do with value system, a separate value system than what I talked about, but it's like they have to reestablish publicly what they believe in. Publicly? I don't know. There's something going on where they're making an announcement, and there could be criticism. I mean, with everything anyone does, there's criticism, but there could be criticism that they're acknowledging, is being acknowledged by them openly together. Separate? I don't know. I'm unclear on this, okay? And then it's a feeling that they need to openly discuss what it is that they want from each other, and letting go of a need to control what people may think or say, and also to some degree each other, and maybe even family. It's like whatever's happening, it has to do with divine timing. That's what I'm saying. It has to do with accepting that it can't be rushed. This situation can't be rushed, right? When I talk about that horse, it's like you can't push a wild horse to respect you unless you take tactics that are unethical, right? You have to go on each other's terms. It has to be a mutual exchange. And so there's this energy, there's something there, but I'm mixing two things. So that was another subject of how she feels, right? But there's something else here that has that similar energy of, we can't rush this situation. We can't make clear and concise declarations. We just have to be honest. We just have to be forthcoming. We just have to be open and not force one another or anything else. You just have to pay attention to what's important, which is being honest and letting the cards fall where they may. But there's good news. There's a good news and an announcement coming out sometime. I believe. I think I'm seeing that correctly. But this is actually a very unclear to me. Because it feels like things are shifting. But if it's in divine timing, let's just see what's coming out here. See, okay, this is how I feel, but it kept evading me, where this is miracle healing. This is one that slid over there. And that's kind of what I'm feeling is with rushing, is there has to be some healing. It's like a settling feeling, like that healing needs to settle. But there's the complexity to it is your feelings can evolve while you heal. And there's a part of a lack of honesty, because it feels like maybe the concern is, well, if I have evolving feelings, then I need to put that on the back burner, or I need to make decisions about this particular thing. It's almost like you're trying to control, you're trying to micromanage your emotions, you're trying to micromanage your life, when that's not how it works. Right? Like, that's gonna end up crashing and burning eventually when you do that kind of thing, or it just becomes a very uncomfortable situation. And so and here it says follow your dreams and red roses, and it looks like it's, I don't know where it's at on her, but it looks like it's resting on her, like surrounding her on her body. And we have family harmony. So it could be a baby, possibly, or this could be, it could be some sort of family healing that's occurring, because it feels like I do feel this fatherly energy from him, where she feels as if he would be a very good father, or she feels like he reminds her of what a healthy father would be. Not her father, I don't mean that in an offensive way, but it's like the ideal man. But again, when I say that, it's like emphasis on his youth. It's like, but he's so young. But it's like he has potential, but he's so young. But that's how he is. That's just his essence. He's just a very mature guy. And everything else I said about him. So, let me pull one more. I don't know, honestly. We have fork in the road, so it does feel like maybe, again, this is kind of moving and shifting in different ways. And then we have honoring true feelings, awakening true self, raising standards. So essentially, it kind of feels like there is a decision that needs to be made here of, do we want to be honest? Do we want to be open? Do we want to be forthcoming? And that starts also with being honest with yourself. It starts with being honest with, this is truly how I feel, and it doesn't have to make sense. And then from there, it's saying, well, what is it? Like, what are my standards? What is it that I want? And really meditating on that and deciding and deciphering where you see your future, right? And what that looks like, not having to adhere too much to the details, but having that foundation, right? The foundation of what standards, what is and isn't acceptable, and then just let go of those expectations, right? Because she's an intuitive person. She's very perceptive, and I feel like she's very daydreamy. She has a very, I noticed the butterflies come out here. She's very much like this beautiful butterfly that is finding her way and expressing herself, and just very unique and very beautiful and mesmerizing. And it takes a beautiful flower like this individual, this other man, to really attract a butterfly. Like he's attracting her. It's not someone coming and capturing the butterfly, catching her. And so where does that lead? And what does that really mean? And there's this feeling of it's okay to daydream. Like it's okay to acknowledge what you deeply know in your heart. It's okay to let that intuition or let your heart guide you. I mean, even if we are emotional beings, at the end of the day, we're not our emotions. We're a spiritual being, right? So elevate to that and remain there, which she does oftentimes. And him feels like he is a very grounded person in a lot of ways, and very practical minded. And so there's a good balance there, right? It's like now you could flip it, and she's the wild stallion and he's the cowboy. It's like you need that stability for a wild horse. You need that understanding in order to, and horses are super perceptive too. So what I see, good things could potentially await here. Irregardless, this is a good connection. This is a good relationship between these two, because they really complement each other, irregardless of where this has led or will continue to lead to. And even if there's any sort of disagreement or, changing of, separation of life, I do feel as if she knows that this connection between the two of them has made a big impact on her and her confidence and how she sees herself in the world. It has really grounded her to get perspective on, again, confidence of what she feels is important. It's validating. And for him, it feels like he really admires her. He admires her, he honors her, he respects her, and he's intimidated. He's intimidated by her. There's an intensity about her and a maturity about her that is very intense and intimidating. It's like when she wants something and she knows she wants it, and if you're the object of that, then that can be, that can make someone very nervous. And nervous to the point that they can shut down their feelings because they don't know how to really perceive that. Like, they need space to understand that and to like feel comfortable in that space. Because it feels like she has a very big presence. And obviously he does too, like I talked about, but when you are that person, sometimes you don't quite see the energy that you put off, right? Yeah, we have, yeah, we have flexible reversed here, and then this is not letting me pull away. The Y reversed, so it feels like there's some sort of refusal to be flexible, or refusal to see something for what it is. And I think it really comes down to the feelings. And so that can stagnate here, or that can complicate things here more than it needs to be if that honesty doesn't occur, or a decision isn't made. It feels like a lot of indecision here. Indecision on something, the way this is supposed to go. See, time to go, reverse. It's like they don't really want to make a decision. They don't really want to make a statement. But they also don't want to go. It's like it's time to go. It's time to move. It's time to change something. Yeah. What I'm hearing is feel into it. Feel into it. Feel into the emotions, because when I talked about the healing, we know that she's been through a lot of heavy grief, and so I feel like there is that is going on, but there's also that concern of when is it okay for me to change or evolve from this, and is it ever okay? And how do I it's almost this feeling of like, how do I stay faithful to who I believe is my everything? There's just a lot of complication there that I've talked about in some of the previous videos. And so I think that's the biggest message here, is for everyone to really see it through this example of it's not always easy. Like, it's very complicated. Feelings can be very complicated, and then of course situations, life can make things complicated. And so it's really just about being open and vulnerable. And sometimes when you feel that rigidness, then maybe that has occurred for some reason to kind of slow everything down, and to feel how uncomfortable it is to be dishonest about how you feel or what's happening or what's going on. And from there, when you finally open up and you feel that difference, right, that relief, then it helps you appreciate that ease of movement more. Because this is all happening in perfect timing, so this will iron itself out eventually, is what I'm saying. But that's the energy that I'm getting currently as I'm recording this. I don't know which particular day I'm recording this, but it's in April. And again, there's a strong energy. Even I have self-reliance down here. There's a card, it came out, self-reliance, where there is this how do I say, like an isolating energy or like an independent energy when it comes from her, you know, of being this this butterfly, this horse, all these ways I'm describing her. And it's kind of a weird feeling to feel something that has eluded you for some time, right? And you kind of had this idea in your mind of where you thought your life was going, or like how you felt or committed yourself to a year or 2 or 3 ago, kind of thing. And so I think basically what's going to happen here is they're just going to trust their intuition, especially her. She's going to trust her intuition. And however it unfolds, I don't know. I'm not seeing that clearly. 9 is a significant number here. I'm seeing the number 9. Maybe 6 because it's reversed. And yeah, that's what I get. Sorry if it wasn't very clear for you guys. But that's what I see. All right, bye.